How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And before we get started, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to my YouTube family south of the border in the United States. I hope that you're having a good one. So today we're going to be talking about BBIG. So in my previous video, I gave you guys a swing trade strategy that you'd want to consider. Of course, this is not financial advice. So I was saying if you could catch it at the $3 level and be able to ride that uptrend, as you can see, we ended up getting to around $3.34. So if you went alongside with that strategy, you should be green because it ended up closing at $3.34. I got some messages. Some of you have already sold because you were looking for a quick day trade, and some of you are actually holding due to the fact this stock needs to make sure it fills that gap to the upside. I'll talk about it further inside of this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information and as well as the recent institutional ownership. The reason why this is important in regards to the short interest, it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for BBIG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.34, being up 6.71%. On the low, it tested $2.95, and then on the high, testing $3.42. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 20.72 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 16.891 million shares. So we ended up having above average volume on the day, and you know what? That's actually fairly good considering we are going into the holidays. But one thing that was clear, there was demand. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, when we take a look at the RSI down below, we can see it's right around 32.05, like we were talking about yesterday, being in that oversold territory. When we take a look at the moving averages here on our chart, you can see that we are below the 50-day, we're also below the 100-day, we're also below the 21-day EMA, and as well as the 200-day. So like I was speaking about in yesterday's video, I was saying there is a swing trade opportunity here. If you can get in with a position at $3 and then have a stop loss around 270 or 275, then you have a good chance of riding a run up, especially leading into this gap fill. And like we know on this channel, gaps tend to get filled at least 90 to 95% of the time. So if you are still holding your position, you should be up now. We ended up testing 295 on the day. So again, if you would have went with that $3 entry, you'd be smiling. So as far as what we want to look for going into Friday, I'd want to see this gap getting filled very quickly right here at $3.77. We did see a high of $3.42. So this is why if we can gain some momentum above it, then that's why I'm looking for that big move. Of course, we got to have that volume coming in, and I feel like it is very doable, especially on the Friday and also going into next week. As far as for the bearish case scenario, if we do have a pullback further from 295, then of course the next level that we could potentially test will be right here around 289, and of course I'm going to be looking for some strength there. So let's see how BBIG performs on Friday. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for BBIG. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as we can see here, we're going to look at the most recent filings we have November the 24th. We have ITO OTI Shares Core S&P Total US Market ETF that purchased just under 106,000 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 28.05%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 2.7 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, short shares availability is at 400,000, updated 1 minute ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 24.64%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 23rd, it was at 43.72, and then for the close of the 24th, which was yesterday, being at 28.05. So what this looks like, when BBIG had its pullback, we had some shorts covering their positions. But one thing that is very clear, even though the short interest has gone down, it still continues to have short squeeze potential due to the fact we tend to look for 21% or higher, and the fact that it's at 28% is part of the reasons why you want to keep this play on your watch list, and it's why I gave out that swing trade strategy in my previous video. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for BBIG. So we could see here on the inflow, it was at 12,037, and then on the outflow, it was at 10,821. So we ended up having an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, you could see we had 2,559 on the large, 7,020 on the medium, and then on the small, it was 2,458. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 2,392. On the medium, it was 6,282. And then on the small, it was 2,147. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for November the 24th, so the Wednesday that just passed, it being that inflow of 167.31. Now, when we take a look at the small scale orders that represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, of course, we had more buying than we had selling. And this could potentially represent institutions. Now, when we take a look now at the turnover ratio, it was at 21.45%. So this is fairly high, but no surprise due to the fact there's a lot of traders that are going in and out of this play, and it's part of the reasons why you see a lot of volatility. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it moves going into the Friday. So let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for BBIG, again, I want to send out a shout out to everyone who was able to take advantage of the swing trade strategy that I shared in my previous video. Like I said, I was saying you can consider an entry right at $3 and then ride that momentum up. So it ended up getting to $3.34 where it closed on the day. So again, many of you took profits. Congratulations. But one thing to be aware of in regards to filling in that gap, it is around $3.77. So alongside with your homework and as well as your due diligence, you need to figure out for yourself whether you're trying to hold that long so you can see it get to $3.77 and make that move to $4. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, one thing that is clear, BBIG still continues to have short squeeze potential. We also did see a reduction in the short interest as well. Not a surprise there due to the fact it did pull back quite a bit. Let's be honest here, but do know a lot of traders are going to be watching this play, looking forward to seeing if it could actually come through on the technical side, like I was saying, about filling in that gap and then making that move to the upside. You might want to consider having this play if you don't have it already on your watch list. But in regards to Friday, I just want to see BBIG hold up that $3 level, and then we can look forward to seeing how well it could perform going into next week. Considering it is going to be a short day on the Friday, that is something you want to realize, and that's going to contribute to its volatility as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.